Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folani. So there we have it. Professor Amupitan is the 6th substantive chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, approved by the Senate yesterday, following quite an interesting and, if you want, revealing session. A number of questions were asked, a number of things were laid to the rest. For instance, whether Professor Amupitan was on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's defense team, to which he said he had nothing whatsoever to do with it. That shut them up for a bit. But before we begin, we have a package. Let's play that package.
It was a defining moment inside the Senate chamber as lawmakers took turns to question Professor Joash Amupitan, the nominee for chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The screening session began with the nominee reading out his academic and professional profile, one that reflected decades of experience in law, academia, and public service. While senators commended his impressive portfolio, they did not spare him the tough questions, ranging from election logistics, technology, security, and inclusivity.
To answer directly and positively whether you were in fact a part of the president's legal team as alleged or speculated about.
With your wealth of experience, can you share with us what accountability mechanisms that you will expand or introduce into our electoral process?
Independent National Electoral Commissions, as a result of the ugly scenario in courts of the government in power at the state sweeping everything.
He further noted that reviewing aspects of the Electoral Act, particularly on electronic transmission of results, would enhance credibility and public confidence in the system.
INEC will perform that role under Section 2 of the Act, which is a major responsibility to ensure that people are educated. You build capacity not just of your staff, of all the election stakeholders, including the political parties, the members of political parties, the masses, as well as technocrats and elites.
The nomination of Professor Joash Amupitan, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, for appointment as Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, is hereby approved.
The confirmation of Professor Joash Amupitan marks not just a change of leadership at INEC, but a fresh test of credibility for Nigeria's electoral process. His pledge to reform election logistics, deepen civic education, and expand inclusion for women and persons with disabilities sets the tone for what could become a defining era for the Commission. But as lawmakers step down the Electoral Act Amendment Bill for further consultations, it's clear the journey towards a more transparent election system is still very much a work in progress. Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, well, thanks there to Tijesu. A work in progress. Okay, let me introduce our guest, and Dr. Banwo, political affairs analyst and US-based legal practitioner. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Banwo.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. I appreciate you.
Indeed. We do too, because when you come on, I think I've made the point before, you have to wake up at all sorts of interesting hours. Let me not use the one that people sometimes say, it's a holy hour. You have to wake up at these kind of hours. We are, just past 11 a.m. here. So thanks once again. But on to the main substance. Professor Joash Amupitan, SAN, is chairman of INEC, the 6th substantive. No surprises there, right, Okwe?
Well, what do you mean no surprises? The surprise here I see actually, Amupitan, regardless of what anybody may have to say about the gentleman, is probably the most qualified INEC chairman we've had in a very long time. Is a senior advocate of Nigeria. Is a dean of the Faculty of Law. I mean, you can't come more educated than that. So I think it portends something different for Nigeria. We can talk about the good or the bad of it, but I think I'm excited that one, that we finally have somebody. I know that this is a part that a lot of people will not want me to, they will be surprised I'm talking about. We finally have one that's a Yoruba man. I know that we're not talking Yoruba irredentism here, but we've never had one there. So, and then we've never had a son. We've never had somebody who's a dean of the faculty. So me, on my own personal appraisal, I think it's a good thing. The man has not been known for any scandal. I've never even heard of him before this appointment, which tells me, okay, maybe we might get somebody that can really, really call it the way it is. Lawyers are known to be bold. Lawyers are known to be able to say their mind, because this treading that thin line between executive interference and independence of the INEC has always been a challenge ever since it got started. But when you have a senior advocate of Nigeria, it's also a dean. The dean part actually impresses me more than the son part. Because dean of faculties, they're generally very, very erudite people. They are very, very opinionated people. They do their own thing. So I think Nigerians should be hopeful for that we got this gentleman.
Thank you very much, Okwe. You see, when I said no surprises, it's primarily because of some of the things that you said. He comes very highly qualified. But then also, something else you said also interested me. You're a lawyer. You know the lie of the ground. You know the legal landscape by and large in Nigeria. And there you are, like a lot of people saying that, I never even heard of him before. But clearly, President Tinubu had. One begins to wonder the depth of President Tinubu's vault when it comes to bringing people up. I mean, that one caught a lot of people, by surprise. And as soon as he had been mentioned and had been presented by the governor, which was another surprise move by the president at an executive council meeting, I understand, he had asked the governor of Kwara to just go ahead and present this gentleman. That was the first that most people got to know about him. So is that a good thing? The fact that he's not, in spite of being a senior advocate of Nigeria, he's not been very, very much in the press for most people to know him.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. That means he probably comes with less baggage if he has not been active politically or in the national discourse. So maybe that gives us a better hope that he'll be more balanced, he'll be more objective in this. If it is somebody that is already in the public space, even this one that nobody knows, some people are already complaining. Imagine if it was somebody that is already in the political space, because the Nigeria that we have today, almost every one of us have one opinion or the other about what is happening. Okay, so if you have been known to be vocal on some issues, immediately you come in, those who are not for your side of the divide, they're going to attack you straight out. He is not known for any opinion yet. And I like that. So now, how we and history judge him will depend on how he now carries himself. Because we are watching, his mandate has been clear. Even the Senate president mentioned some of the stuff that we're going to need him to do when it comes in. So we're going to then have like an open slate to be able to judge whether this man deserves that position or whether it's just another crony appointment. I'm very optimistic, okay, that I've never heard of him. I like that part. He's from the University of Jos, so it's not like somebody who will have been very close to the president from the for him to have been a son. You have to understand this, why I'm excited. For him to have been a son, a Yoruba man, and he has not been connected with the Tinubu machinery before. He has to be strange, because remember, during the election, almost all the sons in Nigeria, they lined up behind the president. He's that connected. He has that much goodwill. But for Amupitan not to have been involved in any of that means that they are not really close as people, and I'm not surprised because President Tinubu has been known to appoint people who are competent when they put the documents in front. I'm not saying he doesn't favor his own guys. Every president does that. I'm not here to come and tell you he doesn't do stuff like that. Everybody does that. But he's also been known to put people in positions that just happen to be qualified, that he himself doesn't know very well. Even the pardons, if we are to go into that a little bit, you can see that some of the people there, he really doesn't know much about. People put it in front of him who have been appointed to do the work, and the man just signs off if it looks good. So I'm optimistic that Amupitan, because if he is close to the president, like some people are trying to allege, he will have been in one of his defense committees. Baba has too much goodwill. People are fighting to be on his defense committee, even without being paid. I happen to know some of this stuff because I'm a lawyer myself. I have a lot of top-level friends. It's not even about the money. They just want to be part of his defense team or offense team or whatever. And here is this guy that's just, and he's a son, Dean, and he's just there, and we've not connected him. So I really like that, even though, of course, time will tell. His actions will tell us whether he's the INEC Messiah we are looking for, or we'll go for another.
Well, I think it was Baba Obasanjo who famously said that there's no Messiah anywhere, in a totally different context, as you recall. The other thing, Okwe, before we now go into the substance of his duties that he was taken up upon, the fact that President Tinubu doesn't seem to let a lot of grass grow under his feet. When the former president, when the former chairman of INEC stepped aside, among the things he said was that to give the authorities the time, and space, as it were, to find a suitable replacement. In the meantime, I think the most senior INEC commissioner was nominated and agreed within INEC to act pending that time. Before we knew it, President Tinubu had come up with his own suggestion. That particular, what does that say to you politically? He didn't allow even weeks to pass. He struck very much while the iron was still hot.
If I have any little reservation about this appointment initially, my thought was, why are they not promoting people from inside INEC? That is supposed to be the normal thing because of experience and because that's why you write in hierarchy. You have experience over the years. I was expecting that Mr. President will actually hire or appoint somebody from inside of the INEC top hierarchy, maybe even that lady. But he went and brought somebody from outside who had no INEC experience, who has no election running experience, which gave me concern. But as I research, if I was going to write a Mayor of Friday article on it, but as I research, as I always do, I realized that there's nothing unique about this. Almost all maybe with the exception of one, most of the other INEC chairmen have been appointed from outside the system, starting from the Obasanjo time all the way to Buhari, all the way. So there's nothing unusual about that, even though I would have expected for bureaucracy purposes to try to promote the most experienced in-house. Okay. Running election in Nigeria is not a pepper soup. It's not something you want to be learning on the job. I have to be very honest about that. So I was going to really attack that why are we not appointing from inside the board? Then, by the time I did my research, I realized I have no case. Almost everybody else was appointed from outside of the system. So apparently the presidents of the nation probably have their reasons why they go and bring in somebody from outside. After all, even though INEC is independent, the appointment itself is a political appointment. So a lot of equations go into it. And I can't legitimately criticize me. I like to criticize with correct standing and receipts. Everybody else, and I can't criticize him for appointing a Yoruba man. A Yoruba man has never been there, so he has to rotate. So I have no ground, so I just kept quiet. That okay, we will judge Amupitan on his own. Let's see what he's going to do over the next coming week. So I don't see that as a legitimate criticism. Those who wanted the top INEC person or the lady to occupy the post substantially, historically, that has not been the situation. We can't hold the president to that. He's got the power to call from anywhere.
Of course, the president has the right to appoint even a Yoruba man. I understand the implications, the delicacies, and all of that. But will they have us understand that the gentleman is from the North Central in Nigeria, whereas there might be aspects of the Yoruba people there. It's hardly a defining Yoruba territory, so to speak. But, you know, I do agree with you that the name, because people will see the name and will reflect on the name first before any other qualifying information.
That's the Nigeria we are in today, unfortunately. Right? but like I also say, Buhari too appointed from the north. So and then even Jonathan, one of his INEC commissioners, was from the south area. It's politics, and again, the president has to appoint someone. So for me, as long as the person is qualified on paper at least, we have to wait for the man to show his mettle. My preference would have been to appoint an experienced person who has gone through the wars. Okay, but maybe again, sometimes it's not every experience that is good. After the last INEC, people still have a lot of issues about the failing beavers and some of the lack of professionalism in conducting the election. So maybe it's not every experience that is good experience, but a dean who has a dean of faculty of law is not pepper soup anywhere in the world. It's going to be someone that is very logical. It's going to be someone that is very analytical, and it's going to be someone that is used to having his system obeyed. So that gives me a lot of hope. And the fact that the man is not a political job man, we've never heard of him or seen him in anything political, that gives me hope. And I want to encourage Nigerians. I know opposition have their own job. Their job is to criticize everything and drag the president, and also the president to drag opposition. I get that. But I want the regular Nigerians out there to be optimistic and let all of us start putting this man's toes under the fire, to start encouraging him and start bringing out stuff that he needs to do to make our election process better. As they say, if you're optimistic, more good things come your way. If you are pessimistic, the only thing that you're going to attract from the universe is negativity. So I'm not for all that protest against the man, because it's nothing. Biki Ogala, who's a personal lawyer to the president, has come out and issued a statement that this man was never part of the President Tinubu's lawyers, because he's the one that is coordinating the personal defense of the president. So I believe him. I happen to know him personally. The minute he said that, I'm like, everybody calm down. He's not going to come and lie publicly about stuff like that. Let's allow this man to do his job, and then we judge him based on that. Luckily, we still have over a year. Let's see what he's going to be doing. Anambra is coming up. That will be the litmus test for him. Let's see what he's going to do with the Anambra governorship. Then, at that point, people like me, if we have something to criticize, we have something to shout about, I will shout. But for now, all I can do is wish him well, pray for him, and pray that the man will be able to maintain his head in between all the warring parties, as the APC is dragging him, PDP and ADC will be dragging him. Let God just give him presence of mind to be able to do the right thing and understand that he might have been appointed by the president, but he's not working for the president. He's working for the Nigerian people. That's my own prayer for him, and all my positive thoughts go to him until I have something to say about him. Let him do something first. So we can decide whether it's good or bad.
So it's like so far so good, even though he's just about to begin, now that he has the Senate approval and some issues were resolved or taken away, as you just said there. Ogala SAN had already spoken, and you said that this is someone you... But he himself, he was confronted in the Senate, and he said he wasn't ever a part of it. I think they also brought in Mr. Peter Obi and his defense team. He says, none of that. I wasn't a part of it. So all of that was very good, because we know that Nigerians, especially on social media, will make up postings. Let me put it like that. They will make up their postings and put in their postings whatever they want. So it's just as well that we are now where we are. So on to the job proper. What do you think, if you were to go about penciling in a sort of an agenda for him? He himself has already spoken about the beavers and that it needs more work. I think he's spoken about an electoral act that possibly could benefit from a bit of amendment. But where would you, being a very keenly interested person, along with millions of Nigerians, who are very keenly interested when it comes to this matter, especially as it relates to transparency and fairness?
Yes, I have several things that what I call questions or expectations from the new INEC chairman, and I would like to list a few of them.
Sure.
For instance, the most important thing for me that he needs to pass is the integrity test. Will he be truly independent? Because every INEC chairman always starts with a glowing press conference, press releases, but they end up being defined by how much they are able to resist presidential influence. The presidency is composed of human beings. They will try to exert influence, is what it is. If I'm there, I know I'm going to try to exert influence also, is what it is. But he has to be able to show us through some of his actions that he is beyond being pressured at that level, because he's going to be acting as a referee, and we want him to act as a referee that is neutral, rather than a referee that is wearing the team colors of one of the parties, which happen to be the ruling party. And we're going to see that from his appointments of resident electoral commissioners, how he does his contracts and the public comments he makes. So he should watch out for that. Number two thing that I expect of him is in the technology frontier, because I'm a tech person myself. Is he going to upgrade, or is he going to retreat us back to everybody line up under the sun and do this thing one by one type of thing? Because after the beavers and the IRF controversies that many have still not gotten over since 2023, Nigerians are very skeptical of INEC's tech integrity. So Amupitan's background as an academic lawyer is not a tech administrator. Means he must quickly modernize the technology backbone, or it's going to risk repeating history. So we have to watch. Number one, I want to see, is he going to audit the beavers machine and the IRF server architecture with consummate professionals? Is he going to initiate partnerships with local tech firms for transparency? Let them not bring all this Amazon thing. Let him, is he going to partner with local tech firms for transparency? Is he going to publish open data on electoral logistics? We expect all of that of him on the technology. Number three, another thing that a lot of us complain about, those of us who are commentators and who are watchers, is what I call the electoral calendar discipline. It's a chronic Nigerian problem. INEC often violates its own timetable. So if Amupitan insists that data means something again, it will matter, that dates mean something again. It's going to mark a cultural shift. When you announce it, you stick with it. So we're going to keep an eye on whether Anambra 25 election, the governorship one, and the other off-season elections coming up, whether it's going to stick to schedule without extensions, litigation confusion, or logistic regrets. That will begin to give us and everybody, because it's the tone it sets. So number 14 that I expect of him, to be honest, okay, internal purge and institutional reforms. Because the truth is, Yakubu's tenure left INEC bloated with career politicians who are disguised as civil servants. So the question is, will the new chairman do real reform and not just be talking and doing all sorts of speeches? Okay, so you should expect resistance from entrenched staff. That's how they make money.
Okay.
But if Amupitan wants to be historical, he should do personnel audit and training, procurement and logistic transparency, so that all of us can see. And then, of course, public disciplinary proceedings for those who have been guilty of misconduct. He needs to do that. So he has a lot of work ahead of him, and all we can do is, and of course, sorry, before I know I took a time on that, voter register cleanup, okay? Because the truth is, the 2023 register still contains ghosts, duplicates, underage voters, and dead names. So him doing an early digital audit and collaboration with the NIMC, the National Identity Management Commission, could establish his credibility, because credibility is all for him.
Yeah.
Because this simple act restore our confidence faster than any press statement that they can give us. That's just a few of the expectations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure we'll return to some of those. And let me say, Mr. Joshua Irewolide, good morning to you, sir, and thank you for holding on.
To you. I hope you are hearing me, sir.
We can hear you. Thank you.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you clearly. We can hear you clearly.
Okay. Happy weekend to you.
Indeed, same to you. Thank you.
To your guest.
Yeah.
I say congratulations to Nigeria and congratulations to the president. As we already know, he has a head for picking the right people. I was surprised when the name of the Prof came up. I was like, how in the world would a president have known this guy to the extent of being able to appoint him? I was shocked.
Yes, me too.
This
me too.
is a very quiet person. You see, but what interested me, Yori, was when the usual Nigerian attitude now came up, where people started critiquing his certificate, and everything started, everything started coming here and there. And I was laughing, because we grew up together. This is my first cousin. We grew up together at Electoral. So I was just laughing to myself, like, so I could be watching a cinema of somebody actually putting himself on the spot, and I appreciated it. And I was like, okay, so Nigeria has gotten to this level of negativity. Okuyori, we need to address that matter strongly, because our politicians are misleading the narrative in the country, and it's leading us to a very toxic outcome, if not civil war. Because it's only distortion of information problem. Somebody needs to address the matter strongly, so that we have to now accept that it is not about our leader, he's not a savior, and there's nobody that is a savior. But we, the Nigerian people, are the evil happening to Nigeria. We are evil destroying ourselves, destroying our nation. The extent on social media now, it is like just wants Nigeria to go up in flames. And so that's why I laugh when people are talking about opposition. Government by opposition, for the opposition to provide alternatives. It's not a position of fighting and people boxing themselves.
Okay, I'm sorry. The line began to go a bit soggy there, but it's just as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua, calling in from Irewolide. We're taking a look at the Senate's confirmation of Professor Joash Amupitan, SAN, as the chairman and the sixth substantive chairman of INEC. We're listening to the views of Dr. Banwo, a US-based lawyer, which, of course, you could also say you were getting something of a view from abroad on the matter. There will be more to come. Okay, so to come back to you, Dr. Banwo, I don't know, did you want to make any comment at all upon that last view from home?
Yes, basically the man is on point when he says people should just not be criticizing for criticizing's sake. They have alternatives, they should bring it forward. So, and I align myself with him. If people have issues with Amupitan, they should bring it out. Don't just create rumors and start to make people distrust him before he has even done anything. That's the part I don't like. I understand his politics. People have to argue and all that. But let's not poison the well for Nigerians before we even get to drink. So that's my own position to the opposition. If you have facts, we will back it up. If you can present it out there, people like me don't care. We will talk about it. But so far, there's just we are seeing a lot of smoke. There's no fire. There's nothing. This man has no skeleton in his cupboard. Otherwise, he will have come out. This man is not part of Tinubu's team. So why are you trying to say he is? Are you telling me when they say hundreds of lawyers opposes for what? Okay, and I'm saying, why would lawyers gather to do that? Where is the smoking gun? You can't just do that because we're in election season. So I was a little bit disappointed about that. I was expecting there is going to be some meat to the allegation, but there is nothing. Because if Ogala comes out and says, this man is not one of us, then what are you all protesting about? So I agree with him. We should try to be constructively critical of the government. I am, but I try to be very, very constructive about it because Nigeria is our goal. We want Nigeria to be better, and not necessarily just to destroy the government because we want to. That part is not pro-Nigerian. So I agree with the man. Let's wait for him to see what is going to be like. Let's encourage him. Let's try to make Amupitan all our own project as Nigerians.
That's right.
To also be able to back him up so that the man also can feel confident to do his work. Because if somebody just feels how you do is criticize him, he will automatically go towards the person that is affirming him. And that is not a good thing. So when he does well, we will clap for him. And if we think there's others he needs to do that he's not doing, you can be sure people like me will point it out. The idea is give us a better Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm all for that.
The other thing is that, well, you made much of the fact that he's a seasoned university administrator, dean, no less. And there's the news item that came out that the ruling APC, the People's Democratic Party, New Nigeria People's Party, they've all thrown their weight behind Professor Amupitan's proposal to review the role of university lecturers in our elections going forward. How important a point do you think that is?
Anything that has to do with the election, obviously that's what his mandate is very, very important. I expect him to review everything because there is still a lot of people who are not satisfied with the previous INEC regime. So obviously he has to come here and he needs to change a lot of stuff. I will still, at this point, still defer to his own wisdom in how he wants to constitute the people that work with him, the type of people he wants to use. Me, I'm all for benefit of the doubt until there is a reason to doubt. So whatever he says he wants to do right now, my job is just do it well, do it transparently, and we'll be there. After all, we can't be doing something the same way over and over again then expect a different result. Even though I personally didn't think the university lecturers or professors they used last time were bad. I'm not that. My major issue was the Beavers failure, which is tech. As far as the performance of many of the officers, I personally don't have major issues because I like to have issues based on facts I can present in public. Okay, this is what this man did. This is what he didn't do. I don't see a lot of that. But whatever Amupitan wants to do, it's his INEC right now, so he can do whatever he wants. So we just hope it's for the good.
Okay. Chidi in Kafanchan, good morning to you, sir. Chidi in Kafanchan, good morning. Can you hear us?
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning to
sir.
Your guests.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead now.
Thank you for having me at this point in time. I want to commend the President, Bola Tinubu, for always taking a decisive decision and action. Because from every indication, Professor Joash Amupitan is eminently qualified to hold the post as the 6th and substantive INEC chairman since 1999. I also congratulate the professor himself for getting an express confirmation from the Nigerian Senate. I want us as Nigerians to note that the problems that we have that has to do with electoral issues, not or from the INEC as an independent. Most of Nigerian politicians have their way of emasculating the independence of the INEC. And to that extent, being something that is being manned by humans like every other person, there are areas that flaws could come in. All the same, as we welcome him as the next chairman of INEC, we wish him well in that very office, and we look forward to seeing a more progressive-oriented conduct in the job of elections in Nigeria. Thank you very much, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Chidi, in Kafanchan. You know, I'm sure the good professor will appreciate those encouraging comments as well. But as Okwe had said, you know, everything is good. Let's see his hand. And that is what he'll go with when he has things that he can talk about. One of those things, I don't know how doable that is. You know, people would like remote voting. People would like for Okwe to be in the US there and still be able to identify with his preference, his political party preference. But we've been told that this thing is not beans, as you said. It takes some doing. So I don't know what you think. Do you think the professor is going to put his foot in that, or his toes, so to speak, in that particular turbulent water?
Well, he will be tempted, he will be dragged to try to put his toe. People like me will insist, we keep shouting.
Sorry, Okwe, I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Let me just add Mr. Dabo calling from, I think he's calling from the Federal Capital Territory. Hello, Mr. Dabo. Mr. Dabo?
Yes.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, please. Good morning. We can hear you, Mr. Dabo.
Good morning.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm on. Yes.
I think we lost that connection. There was a bit of a lag. So I'm so sorry about this, Okwe. Please go back to what you were speaking about.
On the issue of technology.
Yes.
I would love for him to be heavy on the technology, but the truth of the matter is that this is not immediately practical for us to get to a cutting-edge technology, and I think we saw that with what happened with Beavers last time. Yes, it is good to aspire for us to have a cutting-edge technology. Now, I'm a tech person myself. I believe strongly in it, but I'm also a practical person. In a Nigeria where we can't even, right at this point in time, we can't guarantee consistent electricity, even with generator. So we have to be realistic. So it is desirable, but not immediately practical. INEC doesn't suffer from a shortage of technology. Even now, it suffers from a shortage of integrity, infrastructure, and implementation discipline. Those are the three main challenges. So the real challenge is not buying new gadgets that just wait for people to chop money. It is making sure that those gadgets work on election day in every ward, under the sunlight, with no network, no power, and no political interference. So we need gadgets that can operate in those scenarios where there is no network, no power. Okay? So if we go over high-tech now, we're just going to hurt ourselves because the reality of our situation is that we can't handle that. It's a shame.
At the moment.
Hey, you have to be realistic. Amupitan himself, the professor, okay, is a brilliant legal mind, obviously. Okay, a son and a dean of faculty, you don't get that a lot. But he's not a tech administrator. So for cutting-edge reform to work, he will need to surround himself with a new generation of digital election manager. He should go look for this Minister of Digital Technology. They should work very close together. My favorite guy in the government. He should partner with local Nigerian tech firms and then a global open source developers so that we can build it may not be ready for 2027, but we need to start working on creating a global open source team of developers. And then, of course, he has to institutionalize tech training for his staff. So we have to be balanced here. Okay? I would wish I could stay in Nebraska and just vote and everything is smooth. Is that the reality for me now? I don't think so. We already have enough. We have BVAS, we have IREV, and we have digital registers already. Let us work on upgrading those, okay? Because what failed in 2023 is not even the tool, it was execution and transparency.
Yeah.
So before we roll out all these new AI-driven systems I'm hearing about, I'm an AI person, or experimenting with blockchain experiments, INEC must audit existing hardware and software for reliability. The existing ones, fix server connectivity and redundancy, and ensure that every returning officer can operate these devices without supervision. Going to go get a whole new gear will require more training. The one we have now, they've already used it for one election. Yes, it glitched and caused a lot of problems. Let us continue to train them on that so that we can become experts in that, even if it's not the latest technology of 2025. After all, in Florida, they were still counting election with by hand, even charts we see. So it's not so much about the cutting edge system we use, but to make sure the ones we use actually work and can be manipulated, can be operated by these that we hire.
Okay, let me bring back, I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Dabo has come back in. Good morning, Mr. Dabo.
Yes, good morning.
Please go ahead now.
Yeah. Hey, good morning. My name is Mr. Dabo, calling from Abuja.
Go ahead, please.
First of all, I want to congratulate our newly sworn-in INEC chairman, Mr. George. And secondly, I want to also appreciate our guest from US that is here that's there with you. My take on that, I am a grassroots politician in FCT. I want to talk about FCT because I think the first task that Mr. George, as the INEC chairman, will face is FCT election, area council election that is coming in the next 4 months. That is February. So my take is, in state, those that are appointed state independent election chairman, electoral chairman, are the one controlling state election, whereby the party that has the governor in the state will ultimately win all the state chairmanship election in the local government. So where I want you to concentrate, now we have FCT minister, who is a former governor in Plateau State, in Rivers State, and now is currently the minister of FCT. There are some issues that is going on. People are now looking at whether they are going to operate the same way states are operating in the area council election. So I want our guests to discuss on that so that people of the FCT will now understand the role that the national INEC chairman will play during the forthcoming election. Thank you very much.
Okay, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Dabo. Well, okay, the viewer asked for your thoughts on the sort of unique situation of the Federal Capital Territory not having a governor, but does have a minister, and how this might unfold.
Well, I can't speak for INEC. I really don't understand that structure too well on all of this stuff. I have to be honest. But to me, again, the issue of structure is worrying us too much. What we need is transparency, whether they have a state resident commissioner or call him a different name in Abuja or not. The only thing that counts is that people voted and their votes are counted properly. That is what I concern myself about, not the title they give the person that is going to be in charge of the election in Abuja. The Supreme Court already ruled one way or the other on the status of Abuja for electoral purposes. And I'm thinking for the regular man on the street, for the man in Fadei, okay, that's not what interests him. What interests us is on the day of election, are people from FCT able to vote properly? And is their votes going to be able to count 100% without being manipulated? The rest of the technical stuff, I personally don't care what title they give to the person. Just organize a good election, make sure the votes are counted, and then let the best man win. So that's where I stand, even with all the other states. Whatever structure it calls them, whatever title they give themselves, to me, it's not, it's of no moment. Does our election count?
Okay.
That, I'm interested in.
I hear you. But I wonder if the guy, Mr. Dabo, was relating, because he also did mention it, that the tendency seems to be that in whatever the state is, the party of the governor comes to win all the local council, most of the local council elections. I think that was the point that he was, and we had talked about fairness and all of that. But sorry, sir, before you launch there, Amaka has also called in, so I don't want to lose her. Good morning, ma'am, Amaka. We're waiting for Amaka. Amaka called in. Good morning, Amaka.
Yeah, some people are complaining about this administration. We know initially it was tough. Yes, good morning. Good morning. And we know initially it was tough. But now, I can say is all okay, you understand? But it's getting better. Like this custard of rice that I always buy 10,000. And today, this morning, I bought it 7,000. So what are we talking about? People just want to spoil the man as if he's not even doing anything. Things are not even going on well. No! You should take it easy. I'm a woman. When I go to market, even though we want the rice, the custard rice to be 3,500, I see it's coming down. So they should just take it and stop.
They should be coming down.
This administration spoiling the man is unfair. Okay.
All right then. Well, thank you very much, Amaka, for calling in. Okay. Well, we're used to that, but she felt a need to comment on it. Say, come on, you guys carry on as if nothing is happening.
Yes, people have to find something to say. I also happen to align with that. That's why I even wrote a book. I don't need to talk about my book about what is actually working in this economy, which surprised a lot of people. They didn't think I could do something like that, monetizing Tinubunomics, where I say people, instead of complaining about this economy, go and look at all the opportunities for making money that Tinubu's policies have unleashed. Many are not even aware. And they are focusing on the cup is empty syndrome.
Yes.
When I'm not going to say
half empty instead of half full.
Yeah, my own is not to come here and be supporting the Tinubu government, but the truth is, every policy that they have put in place opens up new opportunities for people to make money. While yes, but people are focusing on the hardship of the policies themselves without focusing on what does this even mean for me? When you look at things like, for instance, even just the tax reform law that it passed, that opened up lots of opportunity for income for the entry-level person, middle-level person, and big-scale investor, like I shared somewhere. But most are not focusing on that because they are letting the noise, okay, the noise of politicians to crowd out the good things that is in the economy. Nigeria is tough to handle, and all we can do is recognize good things when they happen and criticize bad things when they happen. But we all know, just like you do, we are entering election season. Opposition are not going to say anything good in the government. They want power. So I don't expect to come and praise Tinubu is what it is. I'm not letting that noise affect me. I focus on one thing at a time that I think is worthy of commenting on. Just like this Nnamdi Kanu thing that I focus on this week. To me, that's a big issue where instead of the opposition looking for an issue, I'm for opposition looking for a wedge issue that resonates with the masses about their hunger, their hardship, to try to form a coalition against the presidency. But you are not going to form a good coalition that we will follow if your focus is on a divisive person like Nnamdi Kanu. Somebody is being charged for treason. And that's what you want to rally the whole nation about, to protest against the government. I can't be for that. I don't care, you know.
Indeed.
So,
indeed.
To me, we need more But we are diverting. This is
exactly, and we've run out of time. It always happens when we're having fun. But Dr. Banwo, I want to thank you very much, as usual, for coming on our program. We know you don't bother about it, but the fact that it takes an extra bit of effort compared to a Nigerian coming on the program, and there you are. Tell me again, what time do you have in the U.S. there?
It's our 5 minutes to 6 now.
So okay, at the end of the program. Well, thank you very much. Really do appreciate your coming on. And thanks to Amaka, that last caller, who is saying that, look, things are not as bad as we might sometimes pretend, but also thanks to all our other viewers who called in. We're going to have to leave it there, Dr. Banwo. Thank you very much. Do please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.